Hello there, Aquarius. This is Sherry Simpson coming to you from British Columbia, Canada. And I wanted to pop in to do a reading for you. I do my readings. I'm a transformational life coach. I work in the Akashic Records with the Book of Life, which is soul guidance. And I work a lot with the chakra system, and I love numerology, so I pull some of those things into my readings. And a couple of things came up while I was thinking about and feeling into your energy. So you tend to be a sign that for some reason is quite anxious. And I get the sense that you feel more anxious when you're out of control or confused and overwhelmed. And I get the sense that overwhelm is about it's as though you have so much to do or so much to think about, or you think you have so much to do that you feel overwhelmed because you already think you're going to fail and not get it all done. And then that actually makes more anxiety and creates more feelings of out of control and lack of clarity and more anxiety for you. So I want you to tap into breathing this month and breathing those things out of you and out of your nature and out of your thoughts. Because the idea that you don't have control and the idea of I'm not going to get it all done is simply a thought pattern that you can shift if you release the thought. So food for thought. You also tend to be a sign who Mikasa Sukasa is coming up. So basically you are a sign that is sort of very open. Like you're an air sign, right? You're very open and very airy. So if you have a house, you just invite people into it, but you also have a tendency to go into other people's houses and just sort of act as though they're yours. And not everyone on the planet is so airy Mikasa Sukasa as you are. So that can create anxiety for other people, and then you feel their anxiety, and because most of you are very empathic, you do have a tendency to tap into other people's energy, and then tapping into other people's energy and you feeling them being anxious, you get anxious yourself. And then that sort of like tumbles and skyrockets. So I want you to tap into whether you've been doing that. And for some reason, the book with 5 languages of love is coming up. This has been something that's been sort of a theme over this year. And everyone has a different love language. This fella, Gary Chapman, wrote a book called The 5 Languages of Love, or The 5 Love Languages. And basically, he's a psychologist, I think, or a sociologist or a social worker who worked with couples. And he was giving both members of a couple the same recommendations about love. And he realized that it was working for some people, but not for others. And he realized out of that it's because there's 5 different languages of love. So many of us really like to be held, to make us feel that we are loved by someone else, and comforted. So we like personal touch and affection. Some people don't like that at all, but they want to hear that you love them. So they want you to say things like, you're beautiful, I love you, you look fabulous today, and that's how they feel love. Some people want you to spend a lot of time with them because that quality time for someone means love. Other people want you to do things for them because having things done for them means love. And then the other people really want you to give them gifts, to give them things like rings and watches and little like flowers and things like that, and that means love. So if you are assuming that everyone is the same as you, then I want you to see if you can ditch that assumption to feel more comfortable in the relationships that you have. And I want to say learn to respect, but I think that is more about you learning to respect yourself and what your own needs are, and understanding that your needs are not necessarily the same as others. And when you respect your own needs and you respect your other needs, then are other people's needs, then other people will also respect your needs. And so it's sort of a weird give and take web. And I get the sense that that's something that you're going to be playing with over the next couple of weeks, which is why I brought it up. So I like to pull 4 cards. The first card I pull is about the physical body and messages that on a physical human sense, the cards and your guides and angels want to bring through to you. And I see the body or the people in our energy as having 4 different bodies. So I also see us as having a mental body where we think things that become our beliefs, and then we live based on those beliefs. So if your belief is that what I give, I have an expectation to receive. And so if my house is open space, mi casa, su casa, then everyone else's is the same because that's what I think and believe. Well, then that's what the second card is about. It's about, do any shifts need to happen in your thoughts and beliefs? The third card I pull is about emotions, because I see us as having an emotional body as well. And that emotional body is the vibration that we give out to the universe, which is how we manifest things into the physical. So if you're giving out a sense of anxious, 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 then the universe is going to bring you more things to be anxious about. If you're giving out a sense of I don't have clarity or I'm not in control, then that's the sense or emotion or feeling that the universe is going to bring back to you. So paying attention to what emotion you're actually feeling or what you're giving out, because that's what you're going to receive more of. And the last card that I pull is a spiritual card about what spirit wants to bring to you as a message. So I'm going to pull those 4 cards for you and see what we have. We're coming up to, oops, first one pops out already. Balance. Lovely. This card just came out for Sagittarius, but it came out for them in a different position and in reverse. For you, it is coming out as a physical card, a card about physicalness, and I don't necessarily, excuse me, this is about speaking your truth, isn't it? I don't necessarily think this is about a love relationship, but it could be. Many of you have very, very, very big hearts, and you can be fearful about getting stuck. You can be fearful about what happens if I give my heart away, or you can have a sense of, do I really want this? Do I not want this? Do I really want this? Do I not want this? And you can kind of do a little bit of a confusion dance sometimes. And again, have that expectation of what I give out, I want to get back. And that is not going to be the case unless you are dating someone who is much like yourself. Maybe you are meant to date an Aquarius who is just like you. You might not necessarily feel too grounded if you do that. So possibly you want to date someone who's actually an earth sign, who's your opposite. But the idea of this card is that there is some balance that is required, and that balance could be balancing you on a emotional and logical sense, because I believe there is a feminine side to all of us and a masculine side to all of us. There's a side of us that gives, and there's a side of us that receives. And so your physicalness on your physical level may not be feeling balanced. The pink in this card is about self-love, so it's basically about what I was just talking about earlier, that if you are feeling anxious, then you're going to call anxiety in from the universe and from partners. And so if you are not taking care of yourself by giving yourself everything that you need, then you're not going to be able to get that from other people either, and there's going to be an imbalance. If you're giving and giving and giving too much, then you're going to feel empty because you're giving away everything and you're not allowing yourself to receive. if you're giving things from a perspective or an expectation of what I'm giving, I'm going to receive, you might not feel balanced there either, because not everyone is the same as you. And so there's a balance that is required in self-love and self-care, and also in speaking your truth. So there's a lot of blue in this card, and that's actually speaking up rather than doing everything from expectation. And I almost get the sense that the conversations that you have with people, sometimes you may think that if you have one conversation, then that is how it is, and that's how it should be because that's what you talked about. But things change for people, and things change for you, and things change over time. And so your thoughts about things may be different than physical reality is, because the conversation that you had with yourself or with others was either months ago or weeks ago or years ago, and you're still working in this physical place based on a conversation or a perspective of giving and receiving that was based on something that happened. I'm getting like in the year 2000. So is there something that happened within the last 18 years that you're still holding on to as the same perspective, as the same energy, as the same expectation? And if that's the case, then perhaps you need to have a conversation with yourself or others. Perhaps you need to put yourself into a different place of receiving in order to feel that balance that you really want. I also get this sense that when you feel anxious, or when you feel out of control, or when you have these expectations and they're not necessarily, I want to say they're not truthful, but that's not it. It's that they're based on the past, so they're not actually based necessarily on current reality. Then how do I put this into words? Then you may actually cut yourself off from your highest self and from your divine self, because the expectation is so far in the past that it's almost from a different place, which means if you're cutting yourself off from source and existence, which is all about being in the now, then living in the past, or living in past conversations, or living in but this is what happened last time, but now I'm feeling out of control, but now people aren't giving me what I want. If you're living from that, then you're not living in that place of the now, in a place of being connected to your source and your highest self. And there's this weird disconnect that happens. And when that weird disconnect happens, it's as though you need more energy and recognition and love from other people, because you're not getting it from your own source and from your own self. And then you have this tendency to want to attach or receive things from the people around you. And then you almost feel tethered, which is not like you, because you don't want to feel tethered, but you almost have this tendency to want to tether in order to get vital source energy, because you're so disconnected from yourself and your source that you're not getting it from where you're meant to get it, because you're attached to something past, or you're attached to, will I be stuck, or you attached to, I don't want to be controlled that way. There's a weird energy thing that goes on with you with that. And so if you are feeling stuck in a lack of clarity, a lack of control, a feeling of being stuck, a past expectation, anything that is connected back there, then if you are disconnected from your source and not feeling like you're getting your energy from source, then you are going to want to grab your energy from other people. But then It almost feels like how do I put this into words? The matrix is coming up for some reason. It almost feels like you're in a different reality, and um, you're standing in that place of the red pill or the blue pill, or the red pill or the blue pill, and it almost is like if you take one of them, then you feel like you're going to be stuck in this reality where you can't connect anymore, and you don't know how to connect anymore, but you don't know what choice to make. So my suggestion or recommendation is that you see if you can balance how you feel based on now. Balance your relationships and your self-love and what it is you're speaking about and feeling and enjoying based on now. Seeing if you can release past expectations and past feelings of stuckness and past relationships and whatever has led you astray from allowing you to collect your energy from your own divine source. And I get the sense that many of you need to know that you are loved just because you're on this planet, that you are worthy and deserving of love just because you're you, that you are worthy and deserving of money just because you're you, that you are worthy and deserving of acknowledgement, of acceptance, of freedom, of joy, of peace and love just because you're on the planet right now. That's it. You don't have to do anything for it. You don't have to pay or exchange or be something special or different or whatever for love, for acceptance, for wealth, for abundance. So the more you have this weird control, expectation, living in the past, sort of scattered energy, and part of the reason I was thinking about the matrix was about all of the cords being tied and tethered in different locations, but not necessarily coming from source, which is where you get your energy. So seeing if you can balance yourself in the present moment and allow yourself to be loved right now just because you're human on this planet. Balancing, I am loved because I'm me. Balancing, I don't have to be a certain way. I don't have to speak a certain way. I don't have to listen a certain way. I can be balanced and loving just because I'm on the planet, just because I'm here. Let's see what other kind of guidance is coming in about your thoughts and beliefs, because there's something else to that. Worthiness and deservingness is something that a lot of the population, like many signs, are dealing with right now, because we've had many, many, many lifetimes in our past. I say past with quotes because time is one of those things that's only human. It's only on the planet Earth that we sort of experience time. And so many of our past lives, which are not necessarily past associated with time, but many of our past lives were horrible experiences where we lost loved ones and we were abandoned. And oh, that's so interesting. Because I was just talking about you being loved because you're on the planet right now. So look at the card we just brought up. But many of the planet is feeling not deserving, is feeling not lovable, is feeling like they have to do things, that they have to be something else, that they have to achieve something in order to be lovable or to be successful. And you are successful and you are lovable and you are loved just because you're on the planet. And again, I want to tap into, if you've had past love relationships that have kept you stuck, that have not been what you thought they would be, what you thought you deserved, then I want you to see if you can like literally cut those ties. Like call in Archangel Michael. Say, Archangel Michael, come to me now. I need you. I want you. I need your help. And what he's going to do is actually cut the cords that are connecting you to any past thoughts or beliefs, any past people, any past situations, any past relationships that are no longer serving you, that are keeping you from love, that are keeping you from abundance, that are keeping you from a balance with yourself and with the people around you, within your relationships. So if you have that thought pattern that you need to be something in order to be loved, that you need to do something in order to be loved, cut all those cords from the past. The new day starts today. You're lovable just because you're you today and forward. And this is interesting. I love the numerology on this because the balance card on this, if you add the 1 and the 4, that comes out to a number 5. And 5s are all about transformation. So this is about you transforming the give and take, the self-love, the giving and receiving, how you speak about yourself, how you speak to yourself, how you speak up in the world, and balancing that sense of being physical and what you are believing in from the past and ditching the past. So transforming that, these are both major arcana cards. So this is like a lot of big stuff for you that is going on over the next like 3 weeks. Maybe only 2 weeks for you. There might be another reading that needs to be done for you by about the 7th or 8th, 7th maybe of March. This card is a 6. So after we are done transforming and loving ourselves and speaking our truth to ourselves and to other people and connecting the masculine and feminine within, Aquarius, this is you I'm talking about as though I am you, but I'm Scorpio, not an Aquarius. But when that happens, when that 5 is done and that transformation has happened, then you move into the 6. And when you move into the 6, it's about nourishment, it's about self-care, it's about self-love, it's about nature comes up for me here, about growing a different kind of love, about growing a different kind of balance, about growing a different kind of nurturing and relationship. And the 6, if you look at the number 6, it's about connecting to the divine and knowing that you are what you are because you're on this planet, because you are a child of the universe, because you are here. That's it. And then balancing the transformation that happened through that number 5 card. So a 6 has like a rocking chairness to it where you actually have like a ball on the bottom. So coming from source and finding your balance. So finding love once you transform, that you love yourself and that you deserve it. And transform how you're speaking to yourself, and transform connecting to your masculine and feminine side. And transform learning a new way to think about love and to think about yourself and to think about what it is that you are and what you want to be and what you want to do and what you want to have and what you want to and what you're deserving of and worthy of. And so the 6 is about in this place definitely with the thoughts and beliefs. It's about believing that you are lovable. It's about coming into that place of love. And this could actually be once you have transformed into that place of self-love and talking to yourself. And I get mirror work for you. I got mirror work for someone else as well, where you actually look in the mirror and look into your right eye and your left eye and say, I love you. I love you because you're lovable. I love you because you're worthy of love. I love you because you're deserving. You're deserving and worthy of love just because you're here, and I love you. So you're actually saying that to yourself. And once that transformation has happened, then your thoughts and beliefs about love have shifted because your beliefs have shifted within yourself, and then you can actually call physical love into your reality because you believe you deserve it. And then that love, that magical love that we all desire, can actually come, because there's a lot of yellow in this card, because then you're actually confident that you are lovable. You're actually confident that you are worthy of love, that you are deserving of love, that you are worthy and deserving of growing and nurturing, not only with another person, but in love in all ways, in relationships with your friends and with your family and with your pets and with nature and with everything. So I love that you're moving from, I love that you're moving from a 5 of transformation and transforming things like in a physical way, as well as moving into your thoughts and beliefs about love and about connecting and about nurturing. Let's see in an emotional sense with your next card. If this is a 7, I'm going to laugh, but I have a feeling it might actually be an 8 for you. Let's see on an emotional sense what it is you need to know this month, or what it is about how you are feeling, how you are emoting yourself, and how the universe is responding to you. And maybe shifting that as part of that balance that's required to see how you, wow, Aquarius, you guys are doing a lot. And I say you guys generally because you could be guys or you could be gals, depending on who you're watching or who's watching this. But this is another major arcana. And this emotional card is about you getting into flow. And I get the sense that once you've done this whole transformation about self-love and self-care and speaking to yourself and balancing your masculine and feminine and balancing your giving and receiving and creating this balance in your physical world and stepping into thoughts and beliefs about love and about nurturing, then you're going to be in flow. And once you get to that place, you're actually going to feel like your emotions are flowing in a new way. And I love this card for you because Aquarius, you're an air sign, you're very free, you're very freedom seeking, you don't want to be stuck, you're very me costa su costa, like I said earlier. You're also very creative. You have such amazing things that you can create and bring into the world. And this I wonder why I said green. This orange sash that he is wearing in this picture is about creativity. It's about your closest relationships. It's about building things in a different way. And that once you have that balance, you can build love in your relationships, in your community, and in your creative endeavors. And this is actually going to create a flow in your emotional sense, as well as a flow in your creative aspirations and what you're bringing to the world. You like water. You're actually very connected to water. And water is very flowy. And many of you actually connect well with water signs, though I do get the sense that a connection to earth and earth signs is also really important for you. But this card with this gentleman, he's wearing a purple gown, and that purple gown is about your intuition and connecting into your highest truths and connecting into your highest self and connecting into your gut feelings. If you haven't been doing that and you've been thinking logically, then you may be blocking your flow. So connecting into the intuition, connecting into your creativity, connecting into balance in a sense of I'm lovable, I'm loved, I deserve love, I'm worthy of love, and changing your thoughts and beliefs about that is going to bring you so much more flow. And I love that this card is a 1, because once you get into that place of balance and that place of love and that place of worthiness and deservingness and being in the now and releasing the past, you're going to be in flow. You're going to bring that flow. When I look at this gentleman, he's actually got his hand into the future, and it's as though the future is coming into the now with his hand over his heart. But he also is surrounded with that confidence And so that confidence and the creativity and the intuition are all tying together. And it's as though the future that you want, that you're worthy and deserving of, that is loving and is balanced, is going to be manifested. The one is all about manifestation. It's about bringing things into the physical now. And emotions are how we connect to our manifestations. So the universe, I see as a puppy, I see it as a puppy that understands only emotions. It doesn't understand what you say necessarily. It doesn't understand hand commands. It's a puppy that understands your emotions. So once you're feeling like your emotions are flowing about what you want, and you are thinking about bringing what you want from the future and flowing with your creativity and with your confidence and your worthiness and your nurturing and your connectedness, that your future that you desire is going to be in the now. That's what I see from this card. And so now let's see what Spirit has for you, Aquarius. So concentrating more so on what you desire, what you deserve, what you know you're worthy of, rather than what you've had in the past. So that whole idea of cutting cards with Archangel Michael, cutting cords, not cutting cards. Oh, that's funny. I'm going to cut the cards here just because that's what I heard. The sense of cutting the past out and really believing that you can be balanced, that you can have what you desire, that you deserve it, that you're worthy of it, and that what you give out, the universe is going to bring back to you. So if you're always thinking about, I'm overwhelmed, I'm anxious, I'm not in control, I'm stuck, then the universe is going to bring that back to you. And then you're not going to feel in flow, and you're going to feel stuck, and you're not going to have the relationships that, I can't believe this is another major arcana. Whew, it's amazing. You had 4 major arcana in this deck, which means huge transformations and big things changing over the next like 2 to 3 weeks for you. This is awesome. And this is another 5. So this is about change and transformation. So Spirit is saying to me with this card that you may be tired of change and transformation by the time the 3rd week comes, because it feels like you have a lot of stuff to transition. But I get the sense that once you have done that transition, once you have found the balance, once you have found that self-love and self-care. So if you haven't been doing things for yourself that like normal humans would do because you're not feeling deserving or you're not feeling worthy. And I'm getting the sense, like literally on a physical level, like are you, and I'm not even getting the sense of like getting massage and things. I'm getting a sense of are you eating what you want? Are you eating things that are nurturing? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you spending enough time doing physical activity, or are you cleansing and showering yourself and allowing yourself to connect with water because it's nurturing? Are you doing all of those things that you deserve and that you're worthy of? Are you balancing that kind of self-love and self-care? And are you speaking your truth to yourself about what you want and deserve? Tying this 5 in about teaching makes me think that once all of this transition has happened, that you're going to be in a place where you're actually going to be the teacher. And I think you like that. I think you actually really like when people are asking you for guidance, when people want things from you. You like the recognition. You like that sort of connectedness and community and being of service and giving your love that way. And I get the sense that that you can't do that the way that you want to, and that you're not receiving from it until you're actually in a place of giving yourself the self-care and speaking to yourself and balancing your logical and emotional and your masculine and feminine. I'm tapping into the colors of this card before I haven't noticed before. So on this card, the green is about a heart-centeredness, about giving to other people. And there's so much more pink in this card that I think your balance is definitely about giving to you, because you've been giving to other people a lot. But I also get the sense that in order to find that balance between giving to others and giving yourself, you do need to speak your truth and to hear other people out, and not be connected to what the past was about, but also connecting into your own personal power and empowerment. So I mentioned that a little bit, but I wanted to reiterate it just because I noticed the colors here. But I get the sense that the Spirit is saying you're probably going to be tired of change and transformation by the time that this happens. You're going to be doing a lot of work over this month on worthiness and deservingness and getting into flow. And once you do that, you're going to be even more confident and capable and recognized for the teaching that you do. And you're going to feel like the teaching that you do is more not valuable to others, but it's going to be, you're going to feel better about it. So it's not going to be something that people are taking from you. They're not taking it. It's going to be something that you want to give more of, because you're balanced, because you're feeling more loved and loving, and because you're in flow. And this makes me think as well that that kids and animals are important to you. And I almost get the sense that you are a very playful sign. And you are, from what I know about you, Aquarius, you are a very playful sign, and you are really good with kids. You can connect with kids and animals in a way that you don't necessarily connect with humans. Even though you love humans and you love animals and you love kids, I get the sense that that's just something about you, that your airy, freedom, creative energy is a way for you to connect to almost anyone. But that ability for you to self-love and self-care and ask for what you want and actually speak to yourself. So the idea of speaking your truth from the throat, you're actually speaking to yourself, I think, about what your truth is. And then connecting in to the love and the nurturing and being in flow is going to change and transform how you teach and share with other people, and how you feel in that place, how confident you feel, how in control you feel, how nourishing, and that's what the 6 number is for me, and how loved and loving you feel, because you are deserving and worthy of love yourself. And so it's like this whole idea of teaching is going to be transforming, and it's a 5, so it makes sense. But because these are all major arcana cards, which means big transformations, it means big shifts, it means big changes. There could be a lot going on with you this month. The energy is high because we have 2 full moons this month, and the energy that is coming through for this full moon as we go into the new moon and into the next full moon at the end of the month, which is March 31st. There's one March 1st and one March 31st. So the second one is a blue moon, because there's two in 1 month. The whole energy this month is like, it's like high vibrating, so I want you to check in with that. I don't want you to step into being anxious and being overwhelmed and feeling out of control, because you're supposed to be balancing that this month. But I do feel like there's going to be a lot shifting for you. And if you focus on shifting it from a place of worthiness and a place of deservingness and a place of being loved for who you are and not what you do, for being rather than doing, then there's going to be a whole different shift and transformation that happens from that, from you being in flow. And maybe even a sense of like literal, like true love coming in, or are you, because you're connecting in with that love from yourself and that love just because you're divine already, that you're worthy already just because you're on this planet, you're actually going to bring yourself a sense of real love. Even if you're in a relationship right now, it could be that it's a different kind of connection or a different kind of renewal, but it's definitely something that you're going to teach and share once all of these things happen. And I think you're going to be really proud and really recognized and really happy about this when all of this is said and done. So hang in there this month, Aquarius. I do think it's going to be a really big month for you, a big energy shift, a big physical shift, a big love shift, a big balance shift. It's going to be a lot of shifting for you. So take care of yourself. And just step into your confidence and your personal power. Step into your worthiness. Step into your deservingness. Step into taking better care of you, speaking to yourself better, and then allowing that to come back to you, because it's what you're giving to you. And I want you to give it to you because you deserve it, not because you should, not because other people think that that's what you do, or you think that that's what you do, or you're obligated to, or that's how you got things in the past. I want you to step into a place of, I want to do this. This makes me feel good. I love and deserve I love and deserve this. I am loving and deserving. I'm lovable. And then you're going to attract that. It's going to be good. You're going to have a good month. It's going to end up good. So take care of you. Take care of your energy. Step into that place of worthiness. And if you want more help or guidance with that, then you can connect with me for a private session. If you feel like you've been on a merry-go-round for a while, if you've been like sort of in a place that feels like a circus that you can't get out of, or maybe you're on like a Ferris wheel that you keep getting stuck at the top of, and it just keeps sticking you at the top, and then it comes around, but you can't get off, and you just keep looping around, just having the same relationships and the same thoughts and the same beliefs. Then maybe some Akashic Record work might be balancing and helpful for you. So I'll leave that information below as well. Please, please, please step into that place this month of, I am worthy and deserving of love just because I'm human. Namaste. Have a beautiful month.